and welcome to part 2 of this Ffestiniog round robin story. I think there's a bloke up at the station wants a word.
Well, that was a very pleasant lunch break. I went for a drink and something to eat at Spooners, which is the platform bar and eatery at the Ffestiniog Railway, and it was very pleasant. Some very nice beers, and yeah, now I'm here at Porthmadog mainline station, and we'll do the final leg back to Machynlleth and then on to Shrewsbury. The station here kind of looks like half a station is left, doesn't it? I would say the buildings and the goods yards over there are now turned into a car park, and all we've got left is the original station buildings, maybe on this side. And yeah, I'm ready to get the train back.
So, time for a quick check on our route for part 2 of this journey. Well, the next leg will be down the Cambrian Coast Line from Porthmadog, passing through Harlech, Barmouth, Fairbourne and Towyn, before turning inland at Aberdyfi to Machynlleth. This stunning line has many speed restrictions, and so this journey of just 45 miles is timetabled to take almost 2 hours, giving us an average speed of just 23.3 miles per hour. We'll then pick up the train at Machynlleth for the final 61 miles eastbound to Shrewsbury to complete our round-robin route. And it's no surprise to find that our train today will be one of Transport for Wales' very nicely refurbished Class 158s. And thanks to that refurbishment, it's nice to see some good Grammar 3000 seats in the 158. Okay, I need to be on the right-hand side of the train for the sea views. Does anybody know what the purpose of this pull wire thing is? And once underway, we soon see way off in the distance the Cobb, where the Ffestiniog Railway runs into the harbour. But once we've passed across these flooded fields, we are going to cross the River Glaslyn much higher up than the Ffestiniog. And our first stop is Machynlleth, which has a nice view of some old quarry wagons, and then we pass under the Ffestiniog Railway to continue on our way. Our 158 now has to track through the estuaries wetlands looking for a way across the River Dwyrid. And we get the first of many wonderful watery views on this train. Anyway, I don't want to spoil the surprise, but just say settle back, because there's going to be lots more of this kind of thing. And another feature of the journey will be many charming little request stops like this one at Tiguin. If the train stops, then pretty much only one set of doors will open. Harlech Station stands just below Harlech Castle, which annoyingly is sited on the other side of the train, but as we'll see when we pull out, Harlech is a really beautiful little station that now looks to be private accommodation. And at the end of Harlech Beach, the train gets just about as close to the sea as any train could possibly get. And now I'm not surprised that the service sometimes gets disrupted by bad weather. Llandanwg is a little request stop which marks a temporary switch inland to enable us to cross the River Artro at Pensarn. As you can see, our 2-car train has no chance of fitting into such a tiny platform. It's worth reflecting how much the environment has been impacted by this slate trade, as the River Artro was diverted in 1819 to improve access to Pensarn Wharf. Well, nobody wants the train to stop at Llanbedr. Obviously, Jeff Marshall isn't making a request stops video here today. But it's a different story at Dyffryn Ardudwy. The sun glinting on Cardigan Bay tempts us with the promise of more sea views to come. And here it is at Llanabber. Surely the wheels will get wet at high tide. This feels like I'm back riding along the Dawlish sea wall, and indeed, like Dawlish, the trackbed around Llanabba was swept away in early 2014, which closed the line for fully 5 months. Well, the platforms at Barmouth certainly used to handle much longer trains than ours. The redeveloped northbound platform side is now just a strip of eateries and other businesses, whilst on the southbound side there at least remains some of the original station buildings from 1867. And then suddenly we burst out from behind some buildings to a sensational view of the Mordack estuary, and we see our first little view of the amazing Barmouth Bridge. We are about to cross an 820-metre long, single-tracked wooden railway viaduct. It was completed in 1867 and is now Grade 2 listed. And we start by crossing the 2 steel spans, one of which used to be a swing bridge, before we traverse the viaduct, which rests on 113 wooden trestles. This is one of the most magical railway crossings anywhere in the UK. And as we approach the southern bank, it's worth noting that the viaduct is also open to walkers and cyclists. What an absolutely stunning walk or ride this would be. And soon we're into Fairbourne. Railway fans will know it for its 311mm gauge miniature railway that runs from the mainline station down to the waterfront. And as we leave the station, we get a really nice view of the terminus station, the turntable, and the railway's sheds. And now we're treated to a fabulous view of Fairbourne Beach. The speed restrictions on this clifftop section go down to as low as 15 miles per hour. A high-speed line this is not, so let's just enjoy the view. The March sun is beginning to set as we continue south to Tywyn and the Dovey estuary. But no Wales coastline is complete without at least a few static caravans. And the sea views just keep on coming. Tom Van Eye is home to a Second World War anti-aircraft training facility. There is still a row of gun emplacements pointing out to sea all along the shoreline here. And beyond Tom Van Eye we cross the River Dicynni for the final run along the beach into Tywyn. And Tywyn is home to the Tallyclyn Railway, which is a 12-kilometre long narrow gauge railway that is now a World Heritage Site. The Tallyclyn is notable in that it became the world's first preserved railway as far back as 1951. And at Aberdyfi we pick up the Dovey estuary and begin to swing inland for our long trek back into England. And finally we cross the river and make our way into Dovey Junction Station, where we meet the line from Aberystwyth. This train terminates here at Machynlleth and will reverse out on a different service. We'll just have a short wait for our connecting train that's coming in from Aberystwyth. There is actually a small stabling facility here. Machynlleth really is an absolutely beautiful station. And here comes our train, and, well, it's yet another identical TFW Class 158. And so I shall settle myself into the run across the centre of Wales back to Shrewsbury. I should keep this portion of the journey brief, as we've already seen this line on a previous video on my channel when I went from Shrewsbury to Aberystwyth. Mid Wales, though, is looking lovely in the setting sun. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this second portion of the round-robin trip along the Cambrian Coast Line, which I think, on reflection, is one of the most beautiful coastal journeys I've ever done on a railway line. Certainly the overall round-robin ticket, costing me just £26, was an absolute bargain for what turned out to be 12 hours of fun on a grand tour around North and Mid Wales. Well, here we are back at Shrewsbury, and if you've enjoyed this video, then please give it a like, and if you've not already, then do subscribe to the channel, as I release a travel video every Friday with a few bonuses on a Monday as well. But for now, from Shrewsbury, it's goodbye and thank you very much for watching.